Hello everybody, my name is Shell and welcome back to Grovecraft. It has been a little bit, and frankly I don't know when this video is going to come out either, because currently I'm just at a very busy point in my life. Currently all my time is being taken up by school stuff, and I've really not had much time to actually be recording much, so I do apologize for that. We're back on the server today and ready to do some fun and exciting things, but first I gotta sleep. And even though I've not been doing a lot of recording, doesn't mean I've not been up to things, and it doesn't mean I've not been up to things on the server as well. So since the last episode, I ended up hopping on one day and Friskies was online. And if you saw my last episode, you would have seen the prank that that a couple of us played on them. I had to help them do a bit of cleanup for that. I may have had to kill a couple happy guests. And as well as that, a group of us gathered together and excavated a trial chamber, which was a lot of fun. We got to hang out a bunch, mess around, we had loads of joke, and then we even played a game of hide and seek afterwards. And then Peach began to work on the Nether Hub. And, well, me and LJ got online to her being attacked by any and every piglin ever. So we had to help her out with that. And it was a very generally chaotic time. But Peach has started building up our Nether Hub now for the server. And it looks absolutely insane, especially from the outside. Kind of just this giant ball, which is very fun. But then from the inside, it is so... What are you doing here? Who are you? I don't know. That guy's just part of it, apparently. And we've even got big paths leading out in all four directions from that hub now that we can all connect our portals. And so I was asked to dig a 7x7 tunnel to connect up my portal, and I kind of decided it'd be quicker to use beds. And this... Oh my gosh, this is my path. Get out of here. I'm sure we will do something with this at some point. Maybe not today, but the path is now dug out. And we have a way to connect our portal up to the main Nether Hub. However, I do actually have a little bit of an idea of what I want to start with today's video. And to do that, we're going to have to check that we have purple redstone components. So here is my dedicated sugar box for redstone now that I keep in my ender chest. And we are missing a couple materials. I'm going to need to do some crafting and gather together. And then I'll meet you guys over at the games district. So we're here in the games district with my two of little zombie piglin friends. I don't know why they're here. With my frog friend. And before anything, I actually want to direct my attention over to here. This is the hot potato board. So this is something that Peach has set up. And to just give a basic rundown of how this works is one person is going to have the hot potato and they've got to sneak it into other people's inventories. And for doing so, you can gain points. I mean, all the details are more better explained in this book, but that is the general rundown of it. Now, I think currently, it's not going ahead. I think right now, Peach is just figuring out who is playing. So I actually want to add my head and my name to this board. So we're going to need this little noggin of mine. There we go. That was good enough. So now I can add my head to the board. I'm going to go over here. And there we go. Now I'm officially signed up for the hot potato game. Now, to turn my attention to something a little less deadly, at least for me. Whoa, that was a weird lag spike. Yeah, we're going to head over to this. Now, if you saw my last video, you would have seen that I built this brand new archery game called Arc Archers. And I am really, really happy with how it's turned out. A couple people have been playing it already, not too much. And there is a leaderboard going right now. And for those of you who didn't see, basically it's archery, but to shoot the targets, you have to shoot up and over the glass wall. And I do want to make an improvement or two to this game. And one thing that I've definitely picked up on when watching other people play is that the timer is very hard to keep track of. You know, you get a sound when the game starts and then a sound when the game ends. And it's very hard to know how much time you actually have left. Now, an important thing in games is giving the players feedback, both through visuals and through sound. And one example of where we've done this is with our targets. You know, all of them play a sound when they get hit, and they also have the little light shine next to them so that you know you've hit it. And we've got a bit of a sound thing going with the timer, but currently there's no real visuals for it. And that's something that I want to change. And you might notice we've got kind of a big empty wall at the back here. So you may see in my inventory, I've got some banners. And I want to use these banners, as well as some other stuff, to help me display the time on here a little bit better. Now, I think that's probably a good height. We just got to line up. Okay. I think... Nope. Damn it. Oh, great. Build up again. There. Okay. I think that that's at a good height. I think that that's going to be very nice for display. And then we want to get in some lamps. Now, if I remember correctly, I did plan out this redstone system before. I think it should be 14 blocks across. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we're going to also have another row of these lamps coming right across here. And then we're going to have some space in the back to put our redstone. But right now, I can just come along with these lamps. And we can take a look. And I think from here, I'm quite happy with how that looks. I think that's going to be really good for giving the players a display so they can see how much time they've got, rather than just having to count in their heads or just it's done when it's done. But in order to make these lamps work, we need to do a little bit of redstone behind them. And you guys might know, I am a redstone genius. And so I'm going to do this with a magical spin. A redstone spin! Whoa! What a crazy, awesome transition that was. You guys, I bet you didn't even notice where the transition happened. But anyway, we're inside the castle walls now because we've got a little bit of redstone. And I'm going to do my best to explain this, but I'll just show you guys from the outside. Look at that. We now have a little bar to represent the time. And I'm going to do my best to explain this. Just keep in mind, I'm not a redstoner. This is probably not the best that the system could be, and I'm probably not going to explain it the best. But I'm going to give it a go. So, right here, sort of in this area with these target blocks and these comparators, this is going to store whatever signal we put into it and kind of just keep that signal going around and also output it here. So that signal is basically going to determine at what point the redstone stops working. So as you can see, that's lit there, that one's not. So that lamp is on and that one is not. What we want to be able to do is at the start of each game, we want to reset the signal. We want to set it to the top. So the way I'm just doing that is like this, using a redstone torch, and we're just sending that signal in and replacing the signal that we already have. And I've just got this here just to take one off of the signal because the max signal is 15 and we've only got 14 lamps. But then what we need to do is at regular intervals, we need to take one away from the signal. And so that's what this bit here is doing. And so whenever this light turns off, then we will take away one from this signal. And that is just going to be controlled by a hopper clock. Now, I'll be honest, it was very, very annoying to get because if it's powered on for too long, let me see if I can get a button to show you. So yeah, look, if I used a button and powered it on for too long, we would lose too much of the signal. So if you can see, we're here right now. We are 5 lamps down, just one press of the button, and we've lost almost all of it. So I had to get like the perfect amount, the only center signal for the right amount of time to just take one away and not keep taking loads away. But I think I've finally got it. And so we've got our reset here. So we just send a signal into that. And this here is currently powered on, but if we power it off, then this hopper clock is going to start running. And if we just come out here with free cam, then we can see that that bar will slowly start unfilling, which is just how we want it to. So the next thing that we need to do is actually link this up. And hopefully that shouldn't be too hard. Because we have our start line over here. The only issue is we actually, if anything, want to connect it to this line, the game online. So I'm just trying to find a point where we can take this signal because we want to take it all the way up and over to about here. This is tough to do because we can't let any of the signals go too close to another signal, otherwise it might affect the power of it. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe taking it from here is a good idea. So I'm gonna use some green wool because it's part of this same line. Then we're just going to bring this along here. I need to actually get some redstone to run along the line. Okay, so we've got this line coming up here now. What we want to do is make this... How do we do this? I think in terms of this, it would just be as simple as... a repeater, got a repeater, going into the side of here. Then we no longer need that lever. But then we want this to just let out one pulse of redstone. We just put sticky piston there, wool there, and then a repeater on 2 ticks. Then that should power that, send through a pulse. That piston should then extend, cutting off the pulse, meaning that this should only send out a little pulse, which resets the timer, and then this should turn this power off, which makes this clock start going. And now I guess there's only one way to test that, which is actually to go and run it. Right, so if I just grab one of these bows, have it set to me playing, and then I shoot to start the game, timer should reset. There we go. Okay. And just like that, it is going to start running down. Make sure that this definitely does run down. Yep, it seems to be running. Get out of here. So I guess the next thing that we need to figure out is just making sure that this timer syncs up with the timer that we have. So it should reach empty at roughly the same time that the sound for that timer goes off. And I've got an arrow in my chest. That looks painful. But right now, that is definitely running too quickly. But luckily for me, the system should be pretty easily adjustable. I run on over to here. The system should be pretty adjustable just based on how many blocks of smooth stone are in there. Where first, I'm just going to let this run down just so that both timers have actually properly stopped. There we go. Timer's run out. So our timer is around 5 minutes. I know I say 5 minutes. It's not exactly on 5 minutes, but it's close enough. So I've done a little bit of the maths, and I believe we want somewhere near 32 smooth stone is the ideal amount. Let's put in 34. And then we're going to see how close this links up. We're going to get a couple of these shulker boxes while we're testing. I'm going to have to put them back into the system afterwards. But let's test this and see how close it is. Okay. The end of the timer just went off. And as you can see, it is not done yet. So we need to lessen the timer. Okay. Timer's gone off. And there's still time on the clock. So we need to remove even more. Okay. They're both running low. The timer is running low. Which one is going to run out first? That's the question. Oh, that one's gone. No sound. Let's use our free cam. Still going. There we go. Okay. We're getting a lot closer. You know what? I'm gonna figure this out by myself, and I'll come back to you guys when I've got that done. And the timer is now synced up correctly. And actually, it wasn't too hard to get, but it's now all working perfectly. And I actually want to take you guys over to the shopping district because I've heard about a little bit of something that might have happened. So, I don't know if you guys might have seen, but in a recent episode, Cadiot paid me to become the insurance for his shop. And the plan was that he'd pay me, I think it was 12 diamonds a month. And if anything happened to his shop, then I'd have to pay out 30 diamond blocks. Which is a pretty decent deal, I think. It's so far been a month. And just before this first month was up, I think I've heard that something might have happened. Oh, I got stuck in a corner there. All right, so we're here at Everymart. And I just want to see, I want you guys to let me know if you can notice what is different about the shop. It might be a little tough to notice. No, it's not the slime blocks. It's not the slime blocks. No, the dog was always there. Is it something back here, maybe? No, there's nothing back here. Well, I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't notice the asteroid here or meteor. I I don't actually know what the classification would be. But yeah, something seems to have crashed through the roof and the wall. And landed in his shop the day before the month subscription was about to run out, which is, you know, a little strange, a little suspicious. And the other thing is, I don't know, I'm not a physicist, but the angle that seems to have come from does seem a little bit suspicious. I don't have the necessary knowledge to decide whether or not there is foul play there. But I am an insurer or an insurance agent, whatever you'd call it. That's what I am, apparently. And so I'm going to have to pay out 30 diamond blocks. The issue is here, I don't really want to pay out 30 diamond blocks. That's a lot of diamonds, and I don't want to be paying that. And so I've been trying to think of a couple ways I can maybe get around it. And then I thought, well, Carriot has not filed like an official claim on the insurance. And if I can manage to get him to pay me just 2 more months of the subscription, overall we'll have made 36 diamond blocks, which means we'll have made more than we have to pay out. So all I have to do is stall for long enough to earn the money, and then I'm just making more money from it. And so I need to set up my insurance agency somewhere in this shopping district. You know, I'm going to make it super inconvenient. It's going to be open limited time. He's going to have to fill out loads of forms and stuff. But first, we've actually got to make some sort of insurance office. And 2 spots I'm currently considering are right here. Or there's a nice little spot just behind that tree there. But either way, I need to get started on building this. And so I'm going to start working on that. And I'll see you guys after I have done so. So let's get started on that right now. So now we have our beautiful insurance office. And I think this looks pretty cool. Outside is pretty bland, pretty boring. I've got a little spot here, sort of like a billboard, if anyone wants to purchase any advertisement. And then we come in, and we have this lovely area, and here is our customer service desk, which is only open on Sundays, and people have to contact me to get me to come on here. You know, I've got to make it as inconvenient as possible for everybody. But then we come back here, and we have some lovely, lovely pictures up. I do hope eventually to sell some life insurance. That might be a little bit of a scam. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. So I've got a little skeleton to remind them, you know, they can't live forever. And a little, you know, these two villagers, you know, to show them what their life could be like with the life insurance. This here is what we are hopefully going to waste some of Cadiot's time with. So in order to file his insurance claim, he's going to have to fill in this form TWCT 3373. Form to waste Cadiot's time. And yeah, it's, you know, a very simple form. But as time goes on, the questions get a little stranger and a little more annoying to answer. So, of course, name of owner, name of property, pretty standard stuff. He's got to get another player to sign this to confirm that he does, in fact, own the shop. Then he's got to give a description, coordinates. Does it fall in the acts of God category? And as this goes on, the questions get more and more unrelated. For example, list all the continents in order of largest to smallest. We've got a riddle for him. Then a big bit of terms and conditions. And then a signature at the end. And I've mentioned in the terms and conditions, once you've filled this, please leave it in the mailbox. Processing may take up to 3 working weeks, after which point a response will be sent to your mailbox. If you do not have one, delivery will be postponed for a week. After this form is complete, more clarification or property inspection may be required in order to make sure payment is carried out correctly. Basically, just a bunch of stuff saying, I'm going to waste your time even more. So hopefully, we're never going to have to pay him. I think that's the end goal here, is not paying him. But yeah, we'll just have to wait until he is next online on a Sunday and wants to come and speak to me about his insurance. So anyway, we're going to come back to the gaming district because I have a little more work that I want to get done over here. But first, we currently have at least 3 people signed up to the Hot Potato game, and Peach has told me that we're able to start it whenever. And the thing is, I keep passing by her because she's working on the Nether Hub, and she's really suspicious of me and keeps thinking that I have the hot potato, which I don't. You guys can see it's there behind me. But I guess if I'm going to be blamed anyway, I think maybe it's time to make a start on the hot potato game. So when I next get the chance, I'm going to try and sneak this into somebody's inventory. But until then, we're going to do a little more work over here. And we really need to connect up this castle. There is currently no connecting path to get us into the entrance. And so I need to start working on something that will allow people to get from over here, round, and up to there. Because so far, you kind of just have to swim around and then climb up there. We need to start working on something. So I'm going to get right to work on that right and now. Okay, change of plans. LJ is with me right now. I'm showing her the insurance shop. And I'm going to see if I can get a hot potato into her inventory.
Did you find a sign?
I did.
I'm pretty sure I put a sign in there before.
There's one in.
Is it spruce?
It is. Oh, these guys seem to love the insurance agency. Employees only past this point.
Hmm.
No, you're not allowed there. You can't
What
pretend
if I
that there's
want to
not a
be an
sign.
employee?
Anyway, see ya.
Bye.
Hello, Editor Show here. So basically, a bunch of the Grovers ended up coming online, and everyone had signed up for the game, and the hot potato ended up back in my inventory. So I started recording, and then there were just so many different passes. So here's that.
Can you change this to 11 too?
Oh, bye, Peach.
We still need Peach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Still need
You
Peach.
mother! It was either you or Shell.
What?
Oh.
What?
Nothing. Nothing. All right, who else's shop do we need to look at?
Well, anyway, let's get on with the build now, shall we? And now, people are no longer going to need to swim across this river because we have this beautiful bit of terraforming here that connects up to the castle. And I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Now, it's not fully complete. I didn't actually connect this bit down to the ground. There's still a little bit to do there. But to be honest, I don't know what other people's plans are with the Games District, so I want to kind of give other people a little bit of an opportunity to do stuff. But this is in place now, so it's going to be a lot easier for people to come over and play my game. And let me tell you, they have been. I have constantly been getting messages asking me to update the leaderboards, that there's new high scores, that I need to empty out the shulker boxes. People have been playing it a lot, and as you can see, we got a first, second, and third here. All of them really, really high. It is like so tough to get anything higher than these. Yeah, people have been playing it so much. And it's kind of getting to the point where I'm thinking maybe the game needs to be a little harder. But I don't want to just kind of make it harder for no reason. So I'm trying to kind of think up some ideas of what I want to do with the future of this game. But we will work on that at a later time because that is all we have time for in today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed, then please consider leaving a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. And make sure to comment what you thought of the video. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.